News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Erica Herskowitz. U.S. and Iranian negotiators have reached an agreement on a 60-day memorandum of understanding to extend the ceasefire and launch negotiations on Iran's nuclear program. That's according to Axios, but President Trump has yet to give his final approval. The report says Trump has asked for a few days to think about the final deal. Bloomberg's Tyler Kendall with details of the agreement.
The U.S. naval blockade will be lifted. We know that this has been part of these ongoing discussions, but also adds that as part of this, it will include an Iranian commitment not to pursue a nuclear weapon. Just for context here, of course, I'm not totally clear how significant that part of this is, considering that Iran's public negotiating stance has long been that they are not trying to pursue a nuclear weapon, despite Western intelligence assessments to the contrary.
Tyler Kendall speaking with Bloomberg TV. The Memorandum of Understanding would state that shipping through the Strait of Hormuz would be unrestricted, with Iran required to remove all mines from the strait within 30 days. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent posted on X the U.S. would not tolerate a tolling system in the strait. In an attempt to speed up the negotiations, Pakistan's foreign minister will fly to Washington Friday to meet his U.S. counterpart Marco Rubio. Hopes for a diplomatic way out of the war in Iran are sending stocks toward fresh all-time highs and fading a rally in oil. On Wall Street, the Dow is flat. The Nasdaq is up 0.2%. The S&P up nearly 0.5%. The 10-year Treasury yield is at 4.46%. The 2-year Treasury yield is at 4.02%. And Brent crude is trading at $94 a barrel. Texas West Intermediate, $89 a barrel. Meanwhile, we're also getting a sense of the war's impact in the latest economic data. Consumer spending edged up last month by 0.1%, while the Fed's preferred gauge of inflation jumped to 3.8%. Leaving out food and energy, it was 3.3%, still well above the Fed's target. Bloomberg's Michael McKee reports consumers may be under pressure.
The personal savings rate dropped significantly to 2.6%, so it does show people were going into their savings to keep up the level of spending. And so that, along with the drop in the overall spending rate, portends maybe a consumer slowdown ahead.
Bloomberg's Mike McKee reports the government also released revised GDP figures for the start of the year. It's down from 2% to 1.6%. Today, the Supreme Court ruled for a black death row inmate from Mississippi who claimed there was racial bias in the makeup of the jury that convicted him. By a 5-4 vote, the justices sided with Terry Pitchford, who was sentenced to death for his role in the killing of a grocery store owner in northern Mississippi. There was one black juror in a trial with similarities to that of another black man on Mississippi's death row, whose conviction the High Court overturned 7 years ago. Shares of Snowflake are surging after the software maker gave a stronger than expected financial outlook for the year. More from Bloomberg's Dan Curtis.
The company also announced a $6 billion multi-year agreement to use Amazon's cloud services and chips, and Snowflake is seeing increased demand for its main data products.
Bloomberg's Dan Curtis reports Snowflake CEO says twice as many customers are using its AI-assisted coding tool compared to last quarter. Snowflake develops software that helps organize, analyze, and store corporate data in the cloud, and it's weaving artificial intelligence through its platform. Salesforce is slumping after the software maker's latest earnings. Revenue estimates for this quarter came in just shy of Wall Street's estimates. Matthew Bloxham covers tech for Bloomberg Intelligence.
Salesforce is one of these legacy software companies which people are looking at to see whether they can transition into an AI-led environment. And they're making some progress with their Agentforce AI tool on track to kind of generate annualized revenue of about $1.2 billion. But that's just a few percent of their annual $46 billion revenue.
And Matt Bloxham with Bloomberg Intelligence notes Agentforce's capabilities haven't always matched the marketing, according to Bloomberg reporting. More than 10 million patients will regain insurance coverage for Eli Lilly's obesity shot Zepbound following a policy reversal by CVS. The pharmacy benefit manager previously restricted the drug after securing a better price for Wegovy through a deal with rival Novo Nordisk. CVS restored access after Lilly agreed to lower Zepbound's price for many health plans. Lilly's new weight loss pill will also be available for certain plans starting June 1st. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Erica Herskowitz, and this is Bloomberg.